Hello everyone, my name is Pinky Lodh and I am going to recite a short story titled Dual Souls, a Mind Torn Apart. The small coastal town of Blackwood had always been known for its eerie atmosphere and the strange occurrences that seemed to happen on a regular basis. But nothing could have prepared the residents for the events that were about to unfold. It all began when a new resident moved into town. Her name was Ava, and she was a beautiful and mysterious woman. She kept to herself and never really mingled with the other residents. But it wasn't long before they started to notice something strange about her. Some would see her out and about during the day, going about her business as if nothing was wrong. But others would catch glimpses of her at night, wandering the streets with a blank look on her face. And then there were the rumors of her talking to herself, as if she was having a conversation with someone who wasn't there. As the weeks passed, the strange behavior of Ava continued, and the rumors began to spread. Some of the residents started to fear for their safety and avoided her at all cost. But others were drawn to her, unable to resist the pull of her mysterious presence. It wasn't until a group of teenagers decided to investigate her house that the true nature of Ava's strange behavior was revealed. Inside, they found a room filled with journals, all containing the same handwriting but with different personalities, each describing a different life, a different name, and different memories. It was then that the residents of Blackwood learned that Ava was suffering from dissociative identity disorder, commonly known as split personality. Each of her personalities had their own distinct characteristics and memories, and they would take turns controlling her body and actions. The town was in shock. They had never heard of such a thing and they didn't know how to react. But they soon realized that they had been living alongside a stranger all this time and they felt a sense of guilt for their fear and avoidance. Ava was taken to a hospital for treatment, and the residents of Blackwood were left to come to terms with the events that had transpired. They realized that they had judged her without truly understanding her condition, and they vowed to be more understanding and accepting of others in the future. But as the days passed, strange things started happening around the town. Objects would move on their own, and ghostly figures would be seen in the shadows. The residents started to feel like they were being watched, and they couldn't shake off the feeling of unease. As the townspeople began to investigate, they started to uncover some of Ava's past. They discovered that she had been through a traumatic event in the past that had caused her to develop dissociative identity disorder. And as they delved deeper, they realized that each of her personalities had a unique identity and ability, and that one of them had the ability to control the elements. The residents of Blackwood were terrified. They had never encountered anything like this before, and they didn't know how to deal with it. They started to blame Ava for the strange occurrences and they began to shun her. Ava's condition began to worsen as she felt the weight of the town's anger and fear. Her personalities started to take control more frequently and for longer periods of time. And as the ghostly figures and strange occurrences continued, the townspeople began to realize that they were not just the product of Ava's mind but were being caused by her personalities. Ava's doctors tried to intervene, but they were powerless against the force of her personalities. They had never encountered anything like this before and they didn't know how to deal with it. As the townspeople's fear and anger reached a boiling point, they decided to take matters into their own hands. They formed a mob and marched to Ava's house, intent on driving her out of town. But as they reached the house, they were met with an unexpected sight. Ava stood before them, her personalities now fully in control, and with a wave of her hand, the sky turned dark, and the winds began to howl. Objects were tossed around by the wind, and the townspeople were thrown to the ground, unable to move. Ava's voices came from all around them, each one speaking in a different tone. You should have accepted us. You should have understood us. But now it's too late. The townspeople huddled together in fear, unsure of what to do. But then, one of Ava's personalities stepped forward. This one was calm and gentle. We don't want to hurt anyone. We just want to be understood and accepted. The townspeople were taken aback by this statement and they realized that they had been wrong to judge and fear Ava. They apologized for their actions and promised to be more understanding and accepting in the future. Ava's personality slowly began to fade and the winds calmed. The sky turned back to its normal blue, and the objects that had been thrown around settled back to where they belonged. The townspeople helped Ava to her feet and she smiled at them. Thank you for understanding. From that day on, the town of Blackwood was forever changed. The residents learned to be more understanding and accepting of others, and they made sure to never judge someone based on appearances or rumors. And Ava, with the help of her doctors, was able to integrate her personalities and live a normal life. But the townspeople would never forget the mysterious woman with the split personality who had taught them a valuable lesson. Years passed and Ava became a respected member of the community. She opened up a bookstore where she sold books on psychology and mental health. People would come to her for advice and to share their struggles. She would listen to them patiently and give them words of encouragement. One day, a woman came to her in tears. She told Ava that her daughter had been diagnosed with multiple personality disorder and she didn't know what to do. Ava listened to her story and shared her own experiences with the women. She explained how she had been able to integrate her personalities and how therapy and medication had helped her. The woman left the bookstore feeling more hopeful than she had in a long time. Ava's bookstore became a sanctuary for people who were struggling with mental health issues. People would come to her for support and she would give it to them freely. She would tell them that they were not alone and that they could overcome their struggles. Years passed and Ava grew old. She knew that her time was coming to an end, but she was content. She had lived a fulfilling life and she had helped many people. She had shown the town of Blackwood that people with mental health issues were not to be feared or shunned, but rather that they were to be understood and accepted. On her deathbed, Ava's last words were, I hope that the town of Blackwood will always remember the lesson that I taught them, and that they will continue to be a place of acceptance and understanding. And the town of Blackwood did remember. They built a statue in Ava's honor and named a street after her. They would always remember the mysterious women with the split personality who had taught them the true meaning of acceptance and understanding. With this, I would like to end my story. Thank you.